what that means for our money. Now, of the profile numbers 1 to 6, the 3 is material. The 3 is the only one who is here to master the material plane. And we're going to explore a little bit about what that means and why it seems like this is a bit of a joke. I'm telling you, I thought it was a joke too. It seems laughable that the third line, the trial and error one, the one who's always screwing up and learning the hard way, I had a very hard time believing that I'm one of the beings that is here to master the Maya. Now, in true third line fashion, I can tell you some of the things that have not worked for this. And now we say it's the third line profile. But one of the things that I want to acknowledge is that every single gate within the body graph can become the gate for somebody's sun, which is really their dominant conscious programming. It's where their personality profile line is going to live. My personality sun is a 5th gate with a 3rd line. Now the line will always be the same for the personality sun and earth. My personality earth is gate 35, line 3. So my personality sun and earth lines are 3. That makes me a conscious 3rd line profile. So not only is there the awareness that as a 3rd line, there is a special relationship to money. I am here to master the Maya, but I can see specifically what I'm here to master when I look at the gate attached to the 3rd line. So I have gates 5 and gates 35. Now, curiously, within my design, those are actually the only 3rd lines I have. So when I look at where I'm really here to master the material plane, it's in relation to my gate 5 and my gate 35. Now, when I look at the centers that house these gates, thematically, it shows me what center I have a very specific relationship to and how that is going to help me with my profits. Through gate 5, I have a special relationship to the sacral center. And through gate 35, I have a special relationship to the throat center. So my 3rd lines belong to the sacral and the throat. That tells me that there's something very specific about the sacral center and the throat center in terms of how I'm supposed to make my money, how I bring in my material resources. This would be an excellent time for you to pause, look at your own body graph, check to see if you have any 3rd lines, and where are they active? Where do they live? What gates hold them? And what centers hold those gates? This is going to give you more specific information about where you are meant to master the material plane. Now, in order for a 3rd line to master anything, we kind of have to screw it up a couple of times first. That's why it's called trial and error. It's not called get it right the first time. It's called try and mess it up. Try and mess it up. Trial and error. Now there's a bit of a kick to this. 3rd lines are not here to mess it up over and over and over and over and over again. That's not the point. It's not about finding all of the ways that something can go wrong. It's about finding out what doesn't work, changing it, and making it so that it can. If you're a 3rd line and you keep having the same failure over and over and over and over again, you have not figured out what doesn't work. If you were figuring out what didn't work, you would not voluntarily be doing the thing that doesn't work all over again. So if you're a 3rd line and it's just failure after failure after failure, there's some level of awareness that you are missing. And hopefully you are here taking in this content because human design is going to help you figure out where that awareness is that you're missing. Maybe this is the system to help you do that. I have a phrase that I really love called 3rd lines the charm. And it's my riff on a version of the 3rd time is the charm. Because 3rd lines, we're only meant to mess it up a couple of times until we figure it out. That's the point. We figure it out. And when we figure it out, we have landed on the version of something that is supposed to work really well, because in theory, we should have already found the flaws. Now, I'm going to paraphrase this because I can't directly quote him, but one of the things that Ra said about a third line really stood out to me was that the only real problems third lines have are money problems. Money problems are the biggest problems for third lines. Money problems are definitely the biggest problems for third line people. If you meet a third line with mental health problems, guaranteed their finances are not working out very well for them. If you're a third line and you're having money problems, there's a very good chance that you're having pretty bad money problems, like quite bad. So bad that you're identifying as a failure in this arena. All of my clients who have a third line profile have struggled with one consistent thing: their relationship to money. They think that they can't hold on to it. They think that they don't know how to make it. They think that they spend it too quickly. They think that they invest it in the wrong thing. They think that they're buying things that are low grade or inferior or not working out. They lose their money. They talk negatively to themselves about it. They talk to themselves as if they're failures. They have very little trust in their own relationship with money. This is so common. You know, this is the thing with human design, is that everything is a duality. And when there is something that is incredibly wonderful about something, there can also be its equivalent terribleness about something. I can say that the third line profile is here to master the material plane. They should have the best relationship with money as a true self experiencing their signature. Now, that's a possibility, but it rarely turns out that way because most of us are not self in a not self world, playing not self games. There are so many third lines who have so much shame around money that just the shame around the money creates these consistent conditioning narratives that tell them, I'm bad with money, I'm a failure, I suck at this, I can't. There's a lot of shame. There's a lot of shame, and that shame influences the behavior. It's hard for me to say that third lines are here to master the Maya, because honestly, there are very few examples of this. There are very few role models of this. When you are in a place that feels like failure, loss, like you did a bad job, you sucked at something, it's not working out, it's not working out. When it doesn't work out, doesn't work out, doesn't work out, it really creates this belief that it's never going to work out. And I bet there are so many third lines who get so close to mastering the Maya, but they just get so beat down by the shame, by the negative talk, that they give up. And that doesn't work. You know, if you're a third line and you have not managed to make yourself a financial success yet, please don't give up. Please don't quit trying, because you're still figuring out what doesn't work. But eventually, when you integrate the information that you're learning right now, you will land on the thing that does work. And we need more of that. You know, I really want to, like, come on, third lines, like, don't quit, don't give up. Because you're the ones that are actually going to be able to show us that this is true, this is real. I myself as a third line have gotten so close to so many things. Like, in retrospect, I can see that I was getting so close to a thing and I almost wanted to quit. I almost wanted to give up. I almost wanted to believe that narrative that says, you're never gonna figure this out. Are you kidding? Why even bother? Why even try? You know, when you're feeling that why even try as a third line, That's exactly the reason to try, because you haven't figured it out yet, and you're one of the only people who can. If you're not a third line, you can't learn the third line way. Everybody else is going, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, but they don't have the ability to try until it does like we do. You know, third lines are here to figure out what doesn't work. But not all third lines are prepared to make the changes that their awareness brings them. The worst thing that you can do as a third line with your awareness of what doesn't work is keep trying to make it work. You gotta know when to break the bond with something. You gotta know when to let go, when to surrender. I would ask you to look at your habits. What habits do you have that aren't working for you? What habits do you have that you need to quit, that you need to change? What habits do you have that are costing you money? I would ask you, what do you know is creating a problem for your finances right now? What do you know is not working for you? What do you know that you're doing that is not a good use of your money, is not a good investment, is not where you should be spending it? What awareness do you have around this? Do you have the awareness of how to change it? Do you have the awareness of what you could be doing differently? What alternative action could be taken? Are you doing anything with your awareness? If you already know what's not working for you in terms of money, and you're still doing it, why? If you have the awareness already that says, I know this isn't working, but I'm going to keep doing it, you gotta ask yourself, why?